Hi, everybody. Listen up. Um, there's been a lot of stuff in the news, and I want to, put my 2 cents in for what it's worth. The Democratic Party and the Republican parties have never seen eye to eye on anything. And when you mix the media, who keeps having former prosecutors and people that have been part of past presidents' um, teams, and they issue their opinions, and yet nothing seems to be happening with the whole Donald Trump issue. Um, Now, don't get me wrong, I did not vote for the man because I've seen him going down that rabbit hole for a long time. If you knew Donald Trump during the apprentice years, then you saw him declining in decisions and him hurting certain people that were on his show, verbally as well as emotionally. Now, why he has so many followers is because Donald Trump is like what they used to call a barker in the old circus, when they used to say, "Step right up, see this and see that." Yeah, that's a barker. Well, Donald Trump wants everyone to believe that he is the best thing on the planet. Well, the Bible, in what is written in the Bible, people assume to feed other people into the Bible. Whether their name is Trump, they turn it into trumpet, or trumper person who blows the trumpet. Okay, Rabbi Jonathan Cohen has been on a TV show called Supernatural with Sid Roth, and has plainly stated that Donald Trump is the chosen people by the Jewish community. Well, even the Jewish community has made mistakes throughout history. I'm hoping this is one of them, because Donald Trump has a serious psychological problem. I can state this because I live around people who have psychological problems. There are people in my facility that I live at who are perfect one day and all of a sudden snap. Their minds are totally gone. They start rambling on. They start saying they're important, or they have certain, amounts of money that they don't have, and they have wishes, and, well, they call it delusions of grandeur. Well, Donald Trump has always wanted to be important, not only to the world, but he always had to try to prove to his father that he was worthwhile to love. Now, I want you all to put yourself in his shoes for a second. You grew up with parents who did not love you, okay? Who sent you off to boarding school and to military school, and then sent you away from the family because you did not meet up with their expectations. See, in today's society, parents are shoving out kids left and right for being gay, transgender, um, if they're not even in the same political party, okay? When I used to work in Hollywood for Children of the Night and for the Hudson House, which was part of a juvenile homeless housing facility, I would see thousands and thousands of kids come to Hollywood searching for their dreams on becoming something other than what they were, trying to prove that they wanted to be something, for someone to love. Well, I can tell you, when I came to Hollywood at the age of 17, I ran away because I was caught holding a cigarette in the parking lot of my school. Now, my mother knew I smoked. I mean, this was not a big deal to her. In fact, she paid for my cigarettes. But because of a misunderstanding, because I was expelled from school and I was so frightened that my mother was going to kick my butt, I pushed my wheelchair from Joaquin Miller High School, which was on Van Olden and Reseda Boulevard, all the way to Hollywood and Vine. Now that's a lot of mileage for a wheelchair. And I went right past my home on Ventura Boulevard, because I lived right off of Hazeltine and Moore Park. Ventura Boulevard is right above that. And I went all the way down Highland, got to Hollywood Boulevard, and booked it over to Vine. Well, I went to church on the way. They couldn't help me. But I ended up at the YMCA. Well, the YMCA ended up calling church on the way. And the pastor, Jack Hayford, knew of me. And they put me in a hotel for the night. Not alerting my mother where I was, which they should have done. I was molested by the hotel manager. So I want you all to think of this. Everything I've gone through, I can honestly look in Donald Trump's eyes and realize that Donald Trump has gone through a lot of things that he's not dealt with since childhood. And because he was given a lot of money since his birth, and not for the reasons of love, but for the reasons that his father was trying to hide the money from the government. And that's how Donald got rich. Now, when you teach a child to break the laws in this country, then you are showing precedence of to a young developing mind that breaking the law is the right thing to do. And that because you have money, there's no consequences. Now, Congress is about to vote on an impeachment of Donald Trump. And to tell you honestly, whether or not it goes through, now that Mr. Nadler is on the side of the impeachment, and all the media is pounding down people's throats for the impeachment, I'd like y'all to think of how much pain Donald Trump has actually gone through his life, being rejected from his own family. There might be something more about Donald Trump that neither you nor I know about. And God always says to give that person the benefit of a doubt. There might be something good about it. Well, I've been praying about that. And God put it upon my heart to say, Donald Trump, dude, I understand. My heart goes out to you, dude. And I want you to understand I've been there. But you got to do the right thing. Your dad's no longer in your life to hurt you. But you keep going up against people who are more educated than you are about government and about what democracy and the United States is about. And it's not locking children in cages. It's not building a wall just because of a certain race. If you want people to stay out of the United States, even while you're president, it's not going to happen. Okay? There's more than one way to get into this country besides over the southern border. They can come in on boats, they can come in on planes, and unless you're going to stop flights from coming in or out of the United States from anywhere, you're not going to stop people from coming here wanting to live a better life. The reason why the United States is looked upon like the big brother is because in our government and the Constitution allows a lot of people to do a lot of things that other countries don't allow, like freedom of speech. I watched a newscast the other day about how over in China, where they're smoke bombs and gassing people and hosing them down because they want to be able to have a free speech. People, we're taking a lot of things for granted. A lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of people out of work. And for the followers of Donald Trump, I empathize with you, okay? But let's be honest. You were in that predicament before Donald Trump came into office. And after he leaves, you're still going to be in that predicament, okay? And putting band-aids on things, giving them extra money from the government and so on and so forth, may hold you above water for a while. But sooner or later, the money's going to stop flowing. And you'll be right back where you started, grumbling and mumbling about how poor you are. Now, after Donald Trump leaves office, the tariffs will be lifted. Things will go back to normal. Hopefully, the next president will immediately get in office and start fixing these things. But until then, I think it's fair to say that unless Congress and the House of Representatives and Nancy Pelosi gets on or off her soapbox and actually speaks for the American people and not for if she's going to have that job after next year, well, this says a lot about people. You know, I watch the government channels. I watch the hearings up on Capitol Hill. And all the older people that are working up there are getting paid $180,000 to $280,000 a year to just be up there. Okay? Now, if they're falling asleep during these hearings, and some get to what they call a filibuster, and they don't let someone else speak because they're long-winded, then you got to ask yourself, what are they really accomplishing? Now, I put out there earlier this month that we should get younger blood up there in Washington. Now, we got younger people up there. 35 is the ongoing date. And I think honestly that we need to actually rebuild our House of Representatives in our Congress. Because if we don't, there's going to be a big problem. Because even though older people might have the mind of experience, our time will almost be gone. We're going to die. We're going to be out of here. Okay, and the country's going to be left up to the next generation. And things have got to get better. Now, there needs to be someone in office who not only cares about this country, but cares about what goes on around the rest of the world. With the hunger crisis that is going on in Hades, or the starving children in Africa, or the hungry Jewish people that are in Israel, who are survivors from the Holocaust. I mean, when you're a country leader, you've got to not only care about your country, but about your neighbors, what they're going through. And yeah, I would like to run for president, but I don't have the kind of money that is needed. I know foreign policy. I'm very well in communications. I mean, I've dealt with the community at large for a very long time. As of some of my videos that you've seen in the last couple of weeks, I'm very passionate about the Bible, about what our country is going through, and about how many other things that we can make better. So think about that, because whoever you write in on that ballot becomes president. You know, even though there's lots of candidates out there, you don't necessarily have to pick them. You have a write-in vote. Well, I don't have the money to start a campaign. But yeah, I think under my leadership and my understanding of what this government needs, I think I could do a better job than Donald Trump. Because you see, I actually know Jesus. I actually know the gospel backwards and forwards. And I also know the gay community. I also know the black community. And let me tell you, there's a lot of things that need to be changed in this world. And we got to start somewhere. Because if we don't, we're doomed. Do you remember how they talk about how all these kingdoms fell? You know why they fell? Because of greed. Yeah. Greed and the fact that they wanted to rule everybody else. Well, I'm not one to sit there and point fingers at other countries for what they want to do to their own people. Okay? It's part of their country. I think, yes, there should be human rights across the board in all these countries. But until we get the people of our nation to start loving each other, to start taking responsibility for their fellow man, we have no right to tell anybody what to do. We need to put the love of Jesus back in this country. And we need to do it now. We need to put the Pledge of Allegiance back in our school. We need to have morning prayer back in our school. Now, a lot of you may think that the separation of church and state is part of our Bill of Rights. It's not. That's an old wives' tale. Okay? A lot of the evangelicals support certain candidates because of their beliefs. Well, I am a born again, spirit-filled Christian. Even though I'm a transgender person, doesn't mean I don't believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus very much so. I talk to Jesus on a regular basis. And him and I, we got a good understanding. I don't commit, I try not to commit any sins. I try to be nice to my fellow human beings. I go shopping every day for people who live here in the nursing home and don't ask for anything for it, never in return. So I'm doing my part. It's time for America to start doing their part. You know why there's over 385,000 homeless people in Los Angeles County? It's because the rents have been forced up so high that people can't afford to live in an apartment. Now, Governor Nugent sat there and put into play a rent freeze. Now, whether or not people are going to abide by it, that's another story. right now in Inglewood, I've seen men in their 20s carrying around what little objects that they own. And we're talking little objects, okay? We're not talking like whole bedroom sets or whatever. We're talking about a radio, a couple pair of pants, and they're sleeping next to doorways of stores. I had $2 on me the other day. $2. And I looked at the young man. I says, would you like a soda or a bottle of water or something, to hold you over? And he said, no. I says, well, can I leave you my number? If you do need something, you call and I'll be right out here, lickety split. See, we've got to care. A true Christian cares about everybody. And I think it's about time America starts first. If you're going to set a good model for the rest of the world, then you got to start at home first. Thank you for your time and have a good evening. And God bless. And let me tell you something. Once you do good for one person, the blessings will flow on you more than you can ever imagine. Jesus said, if you do to the least of these, you are doing it to me. And he meant it. So think about it, okay? You have a good evening, brothers and sisters. And I love you all.